Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forkin Good podcast with Kate Fenwick and...
I'm Simon Gault, last time I checked anyway.
Still remember that, but...
Just.
Good, you woke up this morning and remembered your name, so that's a good start, eh?
Indeed it is.
So we're so excited. The podcast has been going so well. The YouTube views are up. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about
We've
this.
even got some subscribers.
I know.
Yeah.
Got subscribe and comments.
And comments.
Yeah. It's been exciting.
Not many reviews. Is that a good thing? Maybe we could have a review or two. Maybe you guys could help us out there. That'd be fantastic.
Well, I did see we had 2 5-star reviews, so that's good.
That was probably you and me.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about this,
No,
right?
but there's 2 5-star reviews on there, like, it's really good. And obviously the YouTube is more about the, visual. If you're a visual listener,
exactly,
then you can watch us on YouTube. And then we've got the Instagram where we're dropping all the competitions, recipes, and all that sort of stuff.
And TikTok as well.
Yeah, and TikTok. Like, far out.
For all the old people.
Feels busy
Watch
already,
on TikTok, right?
So, the plan for this episode, well,
I want to know about Kate. That's what I want to know. Because you wasted Kate, but where did it all start? Like, where did you go to school? Where did you grow up? Start with that. Hit me with it.
Well, I actually grew up in Upper Hutt. So I always tell people about my, because I'm not perfect, I'm not zero waste, and I drive a V8. And that is purely because I grew up in Upper Hutt.
It's a V8's in Upper Hutt.
I'm a bogan, never left.
So Upper Hutt's out of Wellington for those that are not in New Zealand.
Yep.
So, and you went to school there? Where'd you go to school?
Yeah, so I went to school till I was about 12 down in Upper Hutt, and then we moved up to the Bay of Plenty, and I ended up in Katikati. So
nice part of New Zealand.
Yeah, so now I'm in Katikati and have been there for many years.
So take me back to school when you were growing up and you thought, when I grow up, I'm going to be. What was it? What was your first thing you wanted to be?
Well, I can't actually remember what I first wanted to be, but my grandmother always told me I'd be a social worker. So...
good with people?
Yeah, well...
Understanding, caring. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Well, more like a people pleaser, I think.
Yeah.
Always it's always been part of who I am. And I think, originally when I left school, I actually worked at a service station, like most people.
Yeah.
Then I started sewing tents for doyles. Do you remember doyles?
I do, yeah. So you were making tents.
Yeah, like big 1, 2, 3 bedroom tents.
That was a school holiday job?
No, that was my job for 6 years.
6 years sewing tents?
In Tauranga, yeah. Sewing tents and thermal underwear. So... that's weird. Then I brought a workshop in Katikati. So that's hence the V8 sort of thing carried on. You
owned a workshop to repair cars or service cars?
Yeah, to repair cars. It was me and my ex-husband. So, did that for a few years. And then I actually started out my career as the Nappy Lady.
The Nappy Lady. Okay, you got me at nappies. Fill me in. Fill me in on Nappy Lady. So you own a workshop to service cars, and so you're a V8 nut. So you're a petrol head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll deal with that when we get on to waste later on.
But then I started. I had my son Daniel, who's now nearly 21, and I decided to try cloth nappies. So as I got into cloth nappies, which then was the start of my waste journey, I started educating people. So I started working for councils to educate people on how to use cloth nappies. And I did a lot. Even now I was at Subway a couple of months ago. I was in there and this lady comes up to me and she's like, Kate, you're the Nappy Lady. And I'm like, I've been trying to lose that for a few years. I haven't changed a nappy for 18 years or something. And she was like, oh, and here's my daughter. And we did full-time cloth nappies on her. And so it's still going. We still do nappy workshops for councils to encourage parents to try cloth nappies.
So how old were you when you started this Save the Planet with Nappies?
27.
27, and you've been working in waste ever since.
Yeah.
that's been your full-time role, educating people.
Yep, educating people. And then it's sort of grown from there. Like I got into waste, like I went into a landfill and then understood how much waste was going to landfill and what landfill was, which we'll discuss in future episodes.
Yeah.
Then I went into a recycling plant, wastewater treatment plant, did some food waste audits and waste audits and learnt all about like what's going on behind the scenes. Everybody puts their bin out and then that's the end of their responsibility. But there's a whole lot that goes on in the background that we don't even know. Like you flush your toilet, gone. But where does it go? So I became fascinated. So went and did all these tours, learnt lots of stuff, and now I teach people.
It sounds like it was almost a passion.
Yeah, it turned into a passion. I never used to be a wastie, and I'm definitely not a greenie, just saying, like I'm not a greenie. But it sort of went in directions I never sort of expected. I remember being that person who was consumption driven, like, you know, buying everything that I didn't need, lots of clothes, like all these, like, you know, especially having a baby, I went and did the thing where you buy everything and you don't need most of it. And then when he was using disposable nappies, the bin was filling up, right? So we went from one small bag of rubbish a week as two grown-ups, introduce a baby the size of your thigh, and all of a sudden we're pushing out the giant wheelie bin every Friday. And I even had a step ladder, so because I pay my rates, so I'll put out a full load. So I got a step ladder so you could jump up and down on it, fit some more in and put out a full load of rubbish. And then realised, well, that's not great, because once you realise where it goes and that it never breaks down, all of a sudden my whole perception of waste changed.
So tell me about this working for the council thing now, because you've done that for, 20-something years?
Yeah, coming up, but it'll be probably 19 years now.
So your role is to do exactly what?
It's a weird one. Like, I just literally talk rubbish. That is my job.
I love it. I get accused of that regularly.
Because I have contracts with councils to provide waste education. And so some of it, like we design courses ourselves, but like you design cooking courses, right?
Yeah.
So we design a course, we create the content, the council then wants us to teach their locals. So we have workshops or seminars, people come along, couple of hours, we educate them on a certain topic, and then we send them back out into the world without any guilt, and hopefully more knowledge for them to, you know.
And you go into corporates or businesses to help them? Because to me, they're the people that probably are struggling. Like if somebody's coming along to one of your courses at the council, they're engaged, they're interested, they're obsessed like you.
Not quite.
No?
Some people are, but
I would never go to one. I would never think to go to one.
Well, that's what we need to
You'd
find out.
You'd have to drag me along.
How do I get you to be interested in coming along? So it's quite fascinating. That's what we've found with the Instagram and that, like little snap bits of waste gets people interested. And that's why we do a lot on like proof of recycling, or this year we've done scrap metal recycling, we've done glass recycling, we've done the liquid paperboard recycling, we've done all these different tyres, all these different videos to show people what actually happens to recycling, because there's a real lack of faith in recycling.
I love your Instagram, by the way, because it could apply to you anywhere in the world, and they're just snippets of gems to help you with waste, whether it's just food, reusing it, storing it.
How to recycle.
Yeah, how to recycle, my favourite thing. I'm learning it. I'm getting on board with this, yeah.
But that's, I think, like, you know, when it comes to like corporates and that, it's a big part now. It's growing and growing, because you've got a lot of green teams, and like you go into a corporate and there's a green team. Now, everybody on every other floor doesn't listen to the green team, because the green team's always in there going, stop putting coffee cups in your recycling, stop putting this food waste in recycling. And so they're constantly trying to tell them, but nobody listens.
Yeah, the greenies are just a pain in the arse.
Because they're like, here we go again. Yeah. They're just banging on, you know.
Yeah.
So I come in and I sort of give more like, here's the reason why it matters, and then I've had so many times, even in my cloth nappy workshops over the years, you've had a mum come with her pregnant daughter. I say what the mum has probably told her 10 times. And at the end, the mum comes up and says to me, oh, well, she's like, that was great. But she said, you know what? My daughter turns around to me and says, wow, Mum, this lady makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But she's like, I've been telling you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't come, it's the same as like me trying to educate my friends on recycling. They don't want to listen to me, but they'll listen to somebody else. So I think it's my goal is to reach the unreachable, people like you, Simon, who don't know. That's what we don't want people at our sessions who are already engaged in recycling. We want people who are lost. We want lost souls who don't know where to start, but don't want to leave the planet a mess for future generations.
Is it something that should be taught at schools where you learn stuff that you really don't want to learn?
Oh.
And could that be the place that there is a subject? Could the councils be getting you into schools to talk to the kids? Because, the kids coming home and going, Mum, you don't do it like that. That's our way in the door, do you think? Yeah,
well, there's already some amazing programs in schools, like Paper for Trees. There's the there's all sorts of enviro sort of programs happening in schools. It's actually, the kids can come home and teach us, but if we don't care, then we won't change.
Yeah.
So that's why I do adult education, and I try to make it funny. I try to make it real, like land on you, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. We always talk about facepalm moments, and people go, right. Like, because I think over the years there's been a lot of myths. There's a lot of, when I first met my husband, Aaron, he used to do all of his housework was into a black sack, and then he would hide it behind the garage and put it out when I wasn't there, and so then one day I put it out and I was like, why is all this glass in here? Like, what are you doing? You've got a glass crate.
Did you tell him off?
Oh, yeah, of course I did. And then I said to him, it's like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, let's face it all goes to landfill. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I was talking to Tony, whose mate Dave drives a truck. And Dave said he drove some, recycling to landfill one day. That's probably about 10 years ago, but now he believes that all recycling goes to landfill because Dave told his other mate who told him. And that's the issue, is that there's these myths, and it doesn't. Like, I've done a video on how glass gets recycled because of that reason, exactly because of that reason, to show him that it does not go to landfill.
So how did you meet this fella, Aaron? Tell me about that. How long have you been married for?
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah. I met him on Tinder.
You didn't? You're on Tinder? Oh my goodness. You were?
Not now.
Well, that's a confession.
Yeah, Tinder success story.
Awesome. Well, they do exist out there, apparently.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I was a client at his salon, but he wasn't my hairdresser. It was one of the other guys who was doing my hair. And I was single and I was on Tinder, and I saw Aaron on there, and he had Lewis sitting on his shoulders, his son. And I was like, I didn't know whether to swipe left or right, because I didn't know if it was appropriate, being a
So just
client.
Explain the swipe left or right. You'll swipe one way or the other if you like them?
Yeah, so you swipe, I think, from memory, because I haven't been on there for many years now, from memory you swipe left if you don't like them, or right if you do.
Right.
But then you have to connect to each other. So we went on a date.
Where'd you go? What did you...
It was at...
I want the details.
It was at
I want the juicy bits.
It was at Phoenix in Tauranga. So it's a restaurant sort of bar. And we both sat outside, and the thing that we both remember is the waitress. When you're somewhere and the waitress is just so annoying, and it was the one time you don't want a helpful waitress, and she was literally there every 3 minutes. She's like, how are you?
Everything okay?
And we're like, yep, it's fine. And she's like, oh, and isn't the weather nice? And isn't it a great... and we were just like, we could just bugger off.
Yeah, you're trying to work your magic with this new fella. I'm going to pause you right there, and we're going to go to a break. Okay, well, that was a quick pause. I need to hear about this first date after 6 weeks hanging out from Tinder. But hold that thought for a minute. The girl from MasterChef days dropped these off. And the cool thing about these ginger beers is that it's half the sugar of the big guys, right? So
Smells like
healthy.
ginger.
Oh, that's good,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
We got our fancy straws.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah,
using cardboard straws or plastic straws,
No,
right?
I like your thinking here, Simon. So
Well,
I've got
I've got a selection of
Oh, you've got a
straws.
selection.
See?
I've got my little, my giant smoothie straw with me.
Stainless steel straws, love it.
Yeah, there we
All
go.
right. Well, that's an epic fail, isn't it? Well, I'll just have it out of the bottle.
Yeah, I'll still try to go through the straw.
The bottle's too tall for the straw. Epic fail. But
For those
hey,
podcast people,
that
that's all right.
That ginger beer's good, right?
That's very ginger.
Yeah, I
very
like it.
nice.
You know, it's organic ginger from Fiji that they use.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so how do you pronounce that?
So it's Hakanoa.
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 Love it. New Zealand ginger beer. The way it should be.
Fantastic. And it
Natural
isn't-
fermentation.
It's not too sweet.
No gluten, no E numbers or preservatives in there. That's really good.
Yeah, good. Cheers.
Cheers. Right, tell me about this first day. So 6 weeks after your first interaction on Tinder, did it go well?
Well, yeah, we decided we weren't gonna, neither of us wanted something serious. So we were like, okay, cool. And then about 3 or 4 weeks later, we're like, oh no, let's give it a go. To see how we go. So then it was about 6 months in. We went on holiday to Australia with Aaron's son, and then COVID happened. So while we're in Australia.
Beep.
So we came back, we had to go into 2 weeks isolation, and then
So you went into isolation
we
together?
definitely went into isolation.
And the rest of the story is history.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, we isolated, and then 2 years ago we got married, and we actually had a completely secret wedding. So none of our family or friends or anybody had any, apart from 6 people knew. Everybody else didn't know. It was Aaron's 50th.
Back the truck up. How did he propose?
Oh yes, well.
Everybody wants some
Oh, well.
proposal details.
He took me up in a helicopter with,
Nice.
to the top of, I can't even remember the name of the mountain in Queenstown, but it's got the golf course at the highest altitude. And so we were hitting golf balls off there, and they're all these eco golf balls, not golf balls that stay in the environment. And then he dropped on one knee and proposed. I've got the most amazing picture of us standing up the
that's
top
cool.
of Queenstown and all these clouds, and it's amazing. I'll have to share it with everybody.
You should. Wow, that's a pretty cool proposal.
Oh, it was pretty special. Yeah. And then we went, we got married 2 weeks later, and everybody came for the 50th. Aaron started his speech, then he dropped an engagement video showing us, because my friend Brad, who'd been colluding with Aaron to film the proposal, we dropped the proposal video, and then he gapped it. I'd already gapped it, and everybody went over to the house for a photo, and and then the boys came out, and then I walked down the aisle,
Happy days.
and we got married.
And that's 2 years ago.
Yeah, at Andrew's place, at our friend Aaron, and mutual friend
Yeah.
Andrew's place.
Which is the greatest lodge in the whole of New Zealand,
yeah,
isn't it?
amazing.
Absolutely beautiful
Yeah.
lodge.
Just
Yeah.
so good. So yeah, and now we're 2 years down the track, and far out, it's gone so quick.
Yeah, wow. So, in amongst all this, you ended up on television. When did that start? And tell us about your first TV moment. Everybody that's been on TV's got a first TV moment. I've got a good one. So, let's hear your. I'm sure there's one. Is there one?
Yeah, there is one. There is one. It was the first. Do you remember the Good Morning Show?
I did. That was my first role on TV.
Oh,
was
was
on
it?
the Good Morning Show. Yeah.
It must be where everybody starts, you know. I went on the Good Morning Show, and I actually went and did Toastmasters so that I could, because I had never done any public speaking before, So I went to Toastmasters. I did like this couple of weeks. Then the Good Morning show came up. So I went shopping and I brought this outfit. And oh my God, like it was completely over the top. I didn't even, like, I was just wanting to dress nice because you're going on TV. And yeah, I went, and then I turn up and everybody on the set is in casual clothing. And I was like, yeah, I was dressed to the nines for a Good Morning.
So you were like going to a ball
I
party.
was going to a ball for a breakfast morning show, and they were all casual as. And then I sat down, and I remember them starting to interview me, and I felt like such a plonker because I was all so overdressed. And then
You weren't looking recycled at all.
this first interview, and then I forgot my way halfway through. They asked me a question, and I was just sitting there going. And they're so good. Like they just, you know how when you're being interviewed, if you forget, they are good at picking you up. Like they'll drop it in. They realise that you're sitting there look like a scared rabbit. So yeah, and they rescued me. But I've only ever watched it once on TV because I can't stand watching it. And I've always since then been like, don't overdress. Like,
Well, you can relax because everybody else only probably watched it once too, so they're okay.
hadn't thought about that.
You're the only one who probably really noticed it, right?
Oh yeah, probably. All my friends said I look lovely, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm so overdressed.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
So, yeah, that's been like, it's been an interesting.
So the Toastmasters was sort of an entry into speaking publicly and then doing all this work for the councils on helping New Zealanders and people around the world with their recycling. Is that kind of how?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Toastmasters. I never, like a lot of people say, oh, I'd never be able to do what you do. I'm sure people say the same thing too, like front and audience, and a lot of people are petrified of that. So the one thing I learned at Toastmasters, which I've always remembered as a speaker, is that nobody knows what you are going to say, so they don't know if you muck it up.
There you go. Yeah.
And so I've lived with that. If I get stuck and I end up going off on a tangent, which sometimes we do, right? I just go, nobody knew, or if I missed something I was going to say, I'm like, nobody knew I was going to say it. So I didn't actually stuff up, and only in what my expectations was.
Yeah.
But as long as the audience goes away feeling that they've, learned, then I didn't, they didn't know they missed me saying it.
So what would your tip be for somebody that does have to make a speech publicly to a group of people? What have you got, like a tip to help people with that?
I think from my experience, like I remember, again, back at Toastmasters, we were all given this task of we had to speak for 3 minutes. Like you had to do a speech on yourself for 3 minutes. And the Toastmaster said, like when we were all learning, he said, look, 3 minutes goes really fast and you don't quite realise. And he said, so we're not asking for your life story in 3 minutes, because that's impossible. We're asking you for something that impacted your life. And I took that quite seriously, and I was like, right. So I talked about my first day. I actually worked on a dairy farm for a year, and I talked about my first day.
Okay, yeah.
I talked about my first day on the farm when literally everything that could happen went wrong. We had a cat, a bull chased me, then he got stuck, he broke his leg. Like I talked about this experience on my first day dairy farming, and then I left it there. That was it.
Okay, back the truck up. Tell us that first day on the farm with the bull. I want to know about this. The bull chased Kate, and what did it do? Break its leg?
Oh, so it was chasing me down the I can't even remember what they call them now, though. Like,
That'll do.
The track. We were on the track, and it was chasing me down the track. I'm on a motorbike that I've never, like I'm still learning, and I've got this bull powering down behind me. And then anyway, I dropped the bike, jumped the fence, and the bull went into the yard, and then it tried to jump the yard fence and got its foot stuck, and then it broke its leg. And I was like, I felt so responsible, and I was like, this poor bull, like it was my first day. And then there was calving, and we had a 2-headed calf born on my second day.
Wow.
And I like all of this stuff was going on in my first week of farming, and I'm like, I don't think this is really for me. Like,
Did you think at one stage you wanted to be a farmer?
it was only because I was dating a guy who was a farmer, though.
Oh, okay.
it was a.
And then Aaron came along and changed your whole perspective
I
on
don't need to
life.
go farming anymore.
Yeah.
But no, it was just, yeah, so I was telling this story, and then everybody else who came in within this course tried telling their life story in 3 minutes. And then you realise how boring that is. Like, you're just, like, talking fast. Like, and so I think one tip for people is that you've got, like, shorten, like, you think you need to say a lot. You can say less more impactively by storytelling, pausing, like, and give yourself the time, because again, nobody knows what you're going to say. And even if you had this amazing speech lined up and you left out a big part, but don't forget to thank your grandmother, like if it's a acceptance speech. But you know, instead of, like, just take your time. You don't need to rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find sometimes when people make speeches, you're talking about thanking people, sometimes people just go on and on and on, thanking everybody from their grandmother to the grandmother's sister. It's like, get on with it. Say thanks to all the people out there, because not everybody wants to hear all those thank yous, do they?
No, make an Instagram post and put all their names in it, but in your speech, just keep it short and sweet and just say thank you for your help, you know. Yeah, it is quite funny because I feel for people who don't like public speaking, because as you would know, like, having done it for years now, you get used to it. And a lot of people say, oh, how can you go on, because I love doing live TV interviews because it's just in the moment. Like, pre-records I find a little bit, you know, like, I don't know, you never know what they're going to end up with at the end, whereas live, what you say is what people get.
Yeah, and you can get yourself in a heap of trouble too. What did I say before? Greenies are a pain in the ass.
Well, we'll discuss that in future
well, we
podcasts,
should edit that out. Right? Edit that out, please.
Now you've said it twice, so.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think,
I think, you know, before I speak publicly to a big group, you always get a little bit of butterflies, and I think that's a good thing. You know, you got to be on your game. And a very clever guy who was a director in some TV that I did early on said to me, before you walk out there, before you start, you got to get that energy going, and it's like, clap your hands and get in the groove and then go out there and go for it, you know? And, you know, the other thing they said to me that I think is the best thing that I ever got told is just be yourself.
Yeah.
Don't try and be something different. You are who you are.
Yeah.
Just go out there. If they love you, they love you. If they hate you, they hate you.
And not everybody's going to love you, right?
No.
So everybody's different people's sort of tastes. It's like we all like different comedians. We like different, you know, we're all different. We don't all have to like the same. And I accept that. Like, you know, you've got to accept it when you're on social media as well, right? Because, I mean, some of the comments I get far out, you're just like, whoa. And you've got to be, I've found over my time, you've got to learn to be in the right mind space to handle those comments. So I never go on and read comments if I'm feeling like it's a bit of a red light day where I'm a little bit, you know, menopausal, and a little bit upset. I'm like, today is not the day.
They're keyboard warriors, aren't they? They'd probably never say it to your face. I mean,
No.
I had David Seymour come in here into my deli at Gault's and St John's, and we got a photo together. Anyway, I posted it up on my Instagram page. Well, did I? And on my Facebook. Thinking, oh, it's pretty cool. David Seymour came in, you know, whether I love his politics or hate his politics, irrelevant.
He's another guy, right? He's a person.
Yeah, he's a person.
Yeah.
And he came in, anyway, I put it up on social media. Well, this one lady just targeted me, and the vitriol I received was just unbelievable. And I'm like, if I've got nothing nice to say, then don't say it.
Yeah.
I just absolutely could not believe it. So I went on to David Seymour's Instagram page, and he put a post up about this old car that he's doing up.
Yeah.
And, you know, this hate that he got on there. I don't know how people like those politicians deal with that. I mean, I don't like it. You take it personally. You know, I'm a chef, right? And, you know, it's all about putting food on a plate and giving it to people. And it's like putting your heart on a plate and people dissect it. You want them to love it. You want to put a smile on people's face. So we don't do this to piss people off.
No.
We do it because we want to inform people and make people happy and enjoy it.
Yeah, share your knowledge. And that's why I think, like, for me, like the negative comments I'm here, I just block it, or I actually sometimes I engage with them sometimes, because then it actually gets your content going. So I'm like all for somebody. If somebody comes on and gives me a negative comment and it starts a conversation, but then after a while I'll just be like, why are you even following me? Like, if you really don't like what I do, don't follow me, because you certainly wouldn't say that to my face.
Yeah.
And I live by that now. If you would not say it to my face, then don't say it at all.
Yeah, but when they're sitting behind their computer on the keyboard, they think they'll say it to your face, and they won't.
But they won't.
You know. So anyway, give us some negative comments, everybody. It'll help our content grow. That's what we want. Dive in, be brutal, slag us off. Just go for it. Give us a hard time, because we've got thick skin and we won't read it.
And then we'll just block it. But it's. I think you learn that, and I actually like you, we've been online like for many years now and got lots of followers, and I think over time you really get your core group of followers, and they're amazing, and they support you, and I really appreciate all the, like, I get emails every now and then, or a little message saying, oh, hey, thank you, you're doing an amazing job, keep doing what you're doing. Those are the things that make, like, if I'm having a day where I've got negative comments, I actually jump into that folder, I keep the folder, and I read those comments to go, look, hey, people still do, they appreciate it. But, you also have to accept that is what is going to happen when you put yourself out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you go on TV or do things like this, people are going to have an opinion.
Yeah.
But it's so nice when people do consume the comment and throw something in there. Well, like, that was awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Or thank you very much. It just keeps you going, right?
Yeah,
it's like when
it does.
people subscribe. That helps our content get out there.
Yeah.
Whether you love it or hate it, it's kept you entertained for a moment or two. That's the plan anyway.
That's right.
What's your most proud moment? What's something that you've done that you've thought, I want to give myself a really good pat on the back for that?
Well, has nothing to do with work. Like, I'm proud of a lot of the things I've achieved, but probably my biggest moment so far is my hole-in-one at Thames Golf Course.
A hole-in-one! I love it.
And the best thing was, my husband and one of his best mates was there, and his mates had a hole-in-one as well. Couple, I think.
As you do, all together.
Yeah.
No, that's incredible.
But my husband hasn't. Aaron hasn't had a hole-in-one. So we watched it. I hit the ball absolutely perfectly. It wasn't one of those ones where it just dribbled into the hole. It landed on the green because it was an elevated tee, hit it down, and we watched it. It bounced, rolled straight in the hole. So it was a perfect shot. And then we were jumping up and down, and then Aaron's mate, Matt, goes, woohoo, hands up everybody who's had a hole-in-one. And him and I and then Aaron's just sitting there going, fuck you guys.
So you play golf regularly then?
Well, I wouldn't say regularly. I've been too busy, but I do play golf.
That's your go-to hobby.
Yeah, one of them, definitely.
And I want to go back to the garage. So you owned a service garage that you take your car into and get your engine tidied up or fixed up.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Or were you going out with a mechanic at the time?
Yeah, well, that was my ex-husband. So, we brought it. Oh, well, I must have been like 20 at the time.
Wow.
And we brought the garage, and then I adminned it for the next 10 years. And then when I set up my own business and it started going, I sort of still just did the accounts. But I used to go in there and write everybody's warrant paperwork and check their lights and, all of that stuff. I've learnt, it's quite funny because number of times Aaron has had something go wrong with the car and I'm out there putting up the bonnet.
Okay, so you're the fix-it chick. Yeah.
Yeah, I get out there and so I've learnt. It's actually been good because I've learnt, like, you know, how to change a tyre, how to check your oil, like, and all like wiper blades and all of that stuff. So I'm just like, go buy some, do it myself.
And you love V8s, right?
Oh, yeah.
So is
yeah.
it the noise that you love? They
Yeah,
sound
and
good,
the
right?
feel.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about the feel of a V8. But I don't speed. Funnily enough, I'm not a
So
speeder.
what sort of V8 car have you got?
Well, I actually, my last one was a Lexus V8 convertible, which was like a dream. I'd hit a point in my
You
life.
strike me as a Falcon kind of
I have
chick.
had a Falcon.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I've had an AU3 Falcon. I've had a V8 Holden Commodore, and the Falcon one, definitely from a feel and sound point of view. The V8 Holden, the boot was too small. Like, I don't know, like I hated the arms on the boot. But then I got my V8 Lexus, and that I actually brought myself for my 40th birthday.
Awesome.
Because I had worked so hard, and it popped up and it wasn't that dear, and so I brought it and I loved it, and that's
And you still got it?
I actually I'm looking for a new car. I had to go to the family wagon for a little while for my work.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a Toyota Highlander at the moment, which is purely for boot space, and it's a great car.
Yeah.
But I'm like, now I actually want to have like a little bit more of a my car, you know, have my company car, so because my staff and that can use it, and then have my own car. So I'm now on the lookout for another car.
Awesome.
I'm like-
We need to go road hooking for a V8 for Kate. I love it.
I've even got the number plate, Kate's V8.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Just no V8 to put it on at the moment.
Right, we're working on that. Maybe somebody's got one out there that wants to sell you one, and they'll drop it in the comments. Before you know it, you'll be driving a V8 and making the noise down the road like a true V8
It's
chick.
actually driving through the Karangahaki Gorge. It's through that bit, you know, in between Wairoa and Waihi. Yeah, you can hear it as you go around the corner.
A rumble in the jungle. Love it. So talk to me about mum. You're a mum.
Yes.
Can we talk about the kids and
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've got Dan. So he's nearly 21.
yeah.
Very cool. He's a lovely boy, you know, he's a man now. There's so much, he's taller than me, looks down on me nowadays. He even said to me yesterday, "God, you're getting short." And I was like, oh, like you start feeling like you're shrinking. So I've got Dan, and then I've got a stepson, Lewis, who's nearly 12. So those two Lewis was 5, Dan was about 13 when Aaron and I first got together, and they're both only children. So they're actually like brothers. They argue like brothers. They treat each other like brothers. They fight like brothers. It's so funny. But it's actually been a really cool thing for them to build that relationship. And it's nice for me, like with Lewis, he's such a lovely kid. And it's sort of like having a second child, because I've known him since he was 5 now.
Yeah.
Having a second child, but you don't have to have him, which is great.
Yeah. None of those nappies going on, right? You skip that one.
Yeah, and we're tight, you know, we're really tight. And our family, an extended family, we all get along really well. It's actually quite lovely, like when you make it work. So.
And dream holiday for Kate and the family?
My dream holiday is going to Fiji with nobody. Maybe my girlfriends, I haven't actually gone to Fiji with Aaron. Right. But I love, I've been to Fiji a few times over the years when it's on sale, you know. You can jump on one of those sales. And the first time I ever got there, I went with my girlfriends for my 40th. And we got off the plane and I instantly just felt this huge relaxation, because the people in Fiji are just gorgeous. I love their culture. Oh, just so amazing. And then got to the resort and just relaxed for like 3 or 4 days. And it was the first time in a long time that I just stopped, and we had a great time. And then I went back a few times after that because I met some of the staff at the resort. So I went back a few times afterwards, and I'd bring gifts and things from New Zealand because there was quite a few of the staff who were pregnant. So I actually took 2 suitcase loads of cloth nappies back with me the next time I went,
love it, yeah.
and gave them to the staff at the resort. And then after a couple of other trips, because I always used to take treats for their kids, I got invited to go out to a village. So one of the staff and his wife invited me out, and Daniel, out for dinner at their place. So we got picked up, we went to one of the Fijian supermarkets, and I brought like big bags of flour and rice because I wanted to thank them for inviting us. So we filled up a trolley. It was so cheap, but it was so nice to be able to go. We went up to their place in the village. They'd cooked us this amazing, it was like a lamb neck stew. And Daniel and I, it's just so culturally different. But we'd taken all the stuff, and we had little bags of treats for the kids and stuff, and it was so nice just to go. And then what I loved about the Fijian community, or the culture when we were there, we brought all this stuff in, and straight away, I can't even remember the guy's name now, it's been so long, but his wife broke everything up and gave it to all of their neighbours in the village.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
They share. They don't hoard it for themselves. Their instant reaction is to share. And I haven't been back to Fiji for so many years, but it is the one place that I just absolutely...
I know what you mean. It's like the minute you step out the door of the plane and you feel that heat in the air and the smell, and just your shoulders drop about 3 inches, and you're like, here we go.
Yeah.
This is going to be great.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I love it.
Unless you're me, once I went to Fiji and I was cooking up there, and I'd take all this food. I was cooking on a boat. It was a cruise that they were doing, and all my food got confiscated at the airport.
Oh,
no. And you know those TV programs where you see them at, border control, and somebody kind of gets really grumpy? And that was me. Because on the way over, the stewardess I knew, and she kept topping my glass up. So I'd had a couple to drink, got to the airport, and they're like, we're taking all that food. And I'm like, how the fucking hell am I going to cook all this food on this boat without this now?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a long story, but I was that guy at the airport and was getting very grumpy. Thank God there wasn't a camera crew there.
Not on that day.
One of my kind of maybe embarrassing moments, but they were being a little harsh on me, I figure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, especially when you're going to, you weren't just bringing it in to do nothing with it.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I was not.
Yeah. No, so I mean, it's definitely been a journey.
Yeah. And
it's been a journey.
Where is it for you now? What's the long-term goal? You're wasted, Kate. You're helping people constantly. What's the dream for the future? If we back the truck up years ago, we all have dreams.
Yeah.
Most of us have got thousands or hundreds of dreams, right? Tell us a couple of yours.
I think one of my dreams would actually be to learn, I've always been very New Zealand focused, and Australia. I've spent quite a bit of time in Australia and learned a bit about what they do over there, because it's very similar. But I've always wanted to go extend that out, go further and learn a bit more about what's going on in other countries. Because I get people, I had a lady just recently had been in America, and she was sending me all these photos going, can you believe this? Can you believe this? Just one of my followers.
Yeah.
And that was so cool.
Are they doing better than us with waste?
No, terrible.
Terrible.
Oh,
really?
Terrible. And so I'd like to be able to go and explore a little bit more. And also, I think, I love what I do, but I think this sort of thing, doing a podcast has been a dream for a while.
Yeah.
But because I've always thought, I'd like to do a podcast, but
with a really cool chef.
Oh, absolutely, with a really cool chef. But I was like, but who am I going to talk to? Talk to myself? And so, this is great. And so, I think long term, my goal is just to be happy. I'd like to be less stressed.
Yeah.
I'm working on that. And just actually enjoy life, because it's too short to not enjoy.
Yeah, it is. We get one body to live in. We can't trade it in.
No.
And we need, stress is such a it shortens lives. So we've got to find a way to deal with stress. And I think we should talk about that in the podcast at some stage.
Oh, definitely.
I know on Four Wheels of Health, I try and help people with dealing with stress. And it's, I bumped into a lady who walks along the street, and she's done Four Wheels of Health, and I stopped to talk to her the other day, and I could just tell her shoulders were right up here around her ears, and the house was on the market, and the photos hadn't worked out, and the drone hadn't worked out, so it was delayed, but they need to sell the house, and this poor stress on this lady. And I'm like, I got to write a blog on dealing with stress. Maybe I could put some of my tips in the comments. Is that a good idea? Because I've got some really good tips on dealing with stress, because it does shorten your life if you're dealing with a lot of stress. And stress just isn't social media or having all these tabs open in your mind.
No.
There's a lot of things that contribute to stress.
Like, it just builds and builds sometimes too, eh?
Exactly. And, just standing outside for 20 minutes, even if it's cloudy, to get a bit of vitamin D, the start of the day, some movement, and talking to people, releasing oxytocin, a good old hug. Everybody feels good with a hug. Look what your dog does when you give it a pat.
Oh, I know.
Or the cat purrs. You're releasing oxytocin, just communicating with people and talking. Don't bottle it up.
Yeah. I've certainly, for me, I'm one of those people who, when you get stressed, I'm not a stress eater, but I don't follow through with a routine. So I've literally, very stressful last 2 years of my life, nothing to do with Aaron.
Everybody's going to be thinking about that now.
But the last 2 years I've been dealing with masses of stress from all different places, and it's built up and built out. And then beginning of this year, I sort of hit burnout. And I've literally, and I'll be honest with the viewers, I've put on about 26 kilos in the last three years.
Wow.
And it has, and then the more that I've got, the more I've put on, the worse you feel, the worse. And so I've actually made a solid agreement with myself to actually get rid of the stress and release a lot of that tension and work through day to day. Instead of stressing about the future or stressing about the past, live in the moment.
And take some time for you.
Yeah.
Like that golf game.
I know.
If you could have a game of golf a week, imagine how much better you'd feel. It's a bit of exercise. It's taking time for you. We all need to do more of it, right? We need to slow down and, see things out there, look at the view, go for a walk. Those are the little things that can make big steps to helping us.
Yeah. And
help it, and it helps people around us too.
Oh, of course it does.
It makes it, you become a better person.
Yeah, and I think as well with that mum stress, a lot of mums deal with that. You're doing everything for everybody. You're washing, doing the washing, doing the dishes, cooking meals, and you feel like you keep going, you keep going, and then you start dealing with other people's stress, and then you get to this point where you're just I have done nothing for myself. And I reached that point only probably a few weeks back actually, where I was just I haven't done anything for myself. And I actually started seeing a CBT therapist about changing your mental state around your self-talk, because I realised I was really negatively talking to myself. So I was I went and started on this, and it's changing that way to be there's things you can control, and then there's things that you can't control, and don't spend most of your time worrying about things you can't control, because you have no control. So put
That's
yourself
great advice.
Yeah, so put yourself into the positive things like going for a walk and taking some time. And he challenges me every week to do two things that are fun for myself. So that's, at the moment, that's my full focus.
So what are your two things this week? Have you decided yet?
Well, I have been starting to get massages again. So trying to get a massage at least every couple of weeks when I can afford it, and then the other thing, I've met up with girlfriends or given time. Sometimes it's just like sitting on, like ringing a friend that I keep thinking I must ring them, and never giving it the time, because you always just feel like you're too busy. And I'm like, no, I'm stopping. I'm ringing my girlfriend, having a catch up, and that can sometimes be a fun moment.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be out spending lots of money to do something fun, or just walking. I actually just went for a walk the other day and just looked around me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just took a moment to actually look around me. Or, actually, one thing I did with Dad last week, we went to the hot pools while we were working in Taupo.
Yeah.
So we went to the hot pools for a couple of hours, and we met this amazing American couple, and we were chatting to them and their travels. And it's just that, you know. Just,
communication.
Yeah.
Human beings talking to one another.
Yeah.
It's just so rewarding, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, because we become quite isolated and lonely sometimes. And loneliness is the biggest cause of death at the moment in the United States, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite sad.
Talking about your dad, you made him the hug in the mug.
I did.
Tell me about it. And are you still making the hug in the mug?
I have to be honest, I have missed a couple of nights, but I am trying to. The only thing I struggle with is having because I can't drink dairy, so having the alternate milks and the coconut cream. So I don't always have coconut cream. So I'm trying to work that through in my
the one
wine.
good thing you do about the coconut cream is, buy a can and then pour it out and put it in ice blocks.
Yes.
And keep it in the freezer.
What about when I'm on the road?
Then you can buy the little small UHT ones.
Yeah, but they've all got E numbers in them. So that's where I started
they probably
looking.
do.
Because that was my biggest problem when I started, like, with the hug in a mug. I started looking and I was going through, I text you, and I was like, I cannot find coconut cream with no E numbers.
But you did find one,
But then I did one. It was the Ceres organic one, I think.
Yeah.
Finally found that one. I was like, finally. But then I was just like, this is really... I had to go to 4 shops. I went to the supermarket, looked at every can, went through all of that. So I was like, need to suss that out. Like,
being
maybe...
healthy's hard, eh?
It is hard,
It is
especially
hard
on the road.
And more expensive than everything else.
Yeah,
Which is hard. But the hug in the mug as a drink, did it help with your sleep?
Oh, yeah. Dad was just... I made Dad and I one that night, and he had his. He really enjoyed it too. And then, he was like, I went straight to sleep. And he was like, as soon as I woke up the next morning, he sort of rolls over, he goes, well, Simon's hug in a mug worked. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you've been bloody snoring all night. Well, I didn't hear myself, so I don't even know if it's true. So, but it did actually work. And then I have had it several times since, and it is so good. And I did think, like, from a comments side of things, there was somebody, Wendy Lane, who asked about a tweak for the hug in a mug for those avoiding coffee or chocolate. So she was asking, like, if you can't drink coffee or chocolate, what could you use instead?
So, carob you could put in there, perhaps. You don't want anything with caffeine going in.
Yeah.
All right. What did you suggest?
Well, I didn't know. Because it was your recipe.
Oh, I know.
I think carob's a good idea, though, isn't it?
Yeah, carob could be good.
Yeah. Because is there anything else that... I suppose if you didn't have the chocolate, would there be... Because it was funny, a girlfriend of mine I was talking to the other day, and she was like, I need to make this hug in the mug. And she couldn't find the magnesium citrate in the powder form.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's only got berry flavour and lemon and lime. And she's like, what did you get? So I said, I'll send you a photo of mine. But she's like, well, I take magnesium citrate tablets every night, but I need to get the powder. I was like, why don't you just take the tablet when you drink the mug? And she was like, this is genius. But sometimes, like, you could just do it as more of, even without the chocolate, it would actually be quite nice if you just had like a coconut and vanilla flavour.
Yeah, the vanilla, just a little bit of vanilla and leave the chocolate out. The reason I put the chocolate in there is because I know most people love chocolate. And if it's a high cocoa chocolate above sort of that 70+%, is also very good for you too.
Yeah.
So that's an option. But if people want the recipe, where can they find my Hakanoa mug recipe?
It's on Instagram.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we've got the recipes on Instagram.
On our Forkin Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, if there's one last thing that you're going to tell people that they should know about Kate, Wasted Kate, what is it?
Oh, that's a big question, Simon. I think like my big life learning has been just give it a go.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to start a business, like, give it a go. Like, what have you got to lose? Just try.
Yeah.
I mean, we quite often laugh nowadays. Like, they say, how did you get into it? And I was like, well, I just started talking, and then it happened from there. And it's like, like, people have asked, what would you do if it fails? I'm like, well, if something fails, then I'll just try it a different way. Like, you never learn unless you put the effort in, and you can't win unless you're prepared to lose. So I just, like, give it a go. Like, we're doing a podcast.
There you go. So be prepared to fail fast and fix it even faster.
That's right. Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
On that note, what do you reckon? We'll see you next week.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to find out what's up with Simon.
Oh, God. Here we go. Anyway, you should give this dry ginger beer a go. It is absolutely delicious. It's not sickly sweet like the other ones. It's just tastes fantastic.
Hakanoa.
And you can buy it at Faro in Auckland if you're in New Zealand, or you can buy it online. And Hakanoa is spelled Hakanoa.
Very good. And don't use smoothie straws.
No, because they sink in here and I got to fish mine out. And it wasn't quite long enough. I thought I was being so clever with my stainless steel straw.
Well, cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
See you next week.